I thought I'd uncovered the worst when I found the hotel emails. Then I discovered the burner phone and realized my wife wasn't just cheating, she was living a double life with two people. And their little derangement had a name.
To protect the privacy of the author and narrator, all names and locations are fictional, and the voice has been intentionally modified. Enjoy watching.
Hey, Reddit. I never thought I'd be posting here, but here we are. I'm a 34-year-old guy, married for 8 years to a woman I thought was my best friend. We met in college, built a life together, and until recently, I would have sworn she was the most honest person I knew. But over the last 6 months, something felt off. She started working late more often, always blaming it on her boss piling on extra projects. She'd come home distant, barely making eye contact, and her phone, which used to sit unlocked on the counter, was suddenly glued to her hip, always face down. At first, I told myself I was being paranoid. Maybe she was stressed. Maybe she was planning a surprise for me. But then the little things added up, the sudden interest in her appearance before work meetings, the way she'd flinch if I touched her phone, the vague answers when I asked how her day was. I tried to ignore it. I wanted to ignore it. But then, one night, I saw a text pop up on her phone while she was in the shower. Just 2 words. Miss you. And that's when I knew. I know, snooping is a breach of trust. But at that point, my gut was screaming at me, and I needed to know. So the next day, when she left her phone on the couch while she went to grab coffee, I did something I never thought I'd do. I looked. Her texts were clean, too clean. Like she'd been deleting things. But then I checked her email. And there it was. A confirmation for a hotel reservation. For last Friday. The day she told me she was at a team-building retreat. My stomach dropped. I felt like I'd been punched. I scrolled further and found more flirty emails with some guy named Mark, real original, from her office. Stuff like, can't wait to see you again, and last night was amazing. I took pictures of everything. My hands were shaking. Part of me wanted to scream. Part of me wanted to throw up. But mostly, I just felt numb. Then I heard her keys jingling at the door. I locked her phone, put it back exactly where it was, and sat there like nothing happened. She walked in, smiling, holding 2 coffees. Hey, babe. Got you your usual. I took the coffee. It tasted like acid. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the emails in my head, the dates, the words, the way she had looked me dead in the eye and lied about where she was. Around 2 a.m., I finally cracked. I rolled over and asked, "Hey, did you ever actually go to that team-building retreat last Friday?" She froze for half a second, just long enough for me to notice, then let out this annoyed sigh. Yes? I told you about it weeks ago. Why are you asking me this now? I kept my voice steady. Just curious. You never really talked about it. She sat up, suddenly defensive. What's with you lately? You've been acting so weird. Classic move, flip it back on me. I knew what she was doing, but it still worked. For a second, I doubted myself. Was I being paranoid? Then she hit me with the kicker, if you don't trust me, just say it. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw the emails in her face. But instead, I just said, I do trust you. And that's when I realized she wasn't just lying. She was good at it. The next day, I called my buddy Jake. He'd been through a nasty divorce after his ex cheated, so I figured he'd get it. Dude, I think Sarah's having an affair. Jake went quiet. Too quiet. You knew. He sighed. Look, man, I didn't know no. But, yeah. I heard rumors. Turns out, Sarah's co-worker, let's call him Mark the Magnificent, had been bragging to people at the office about hooking up with a married woman. Never said her name, but Jake's girlfriend worked in the same department and put 2 and 2 together. The worst part? Jake had debated telling me for weeks but didn't want to blow up my marriage over gossip. I hung up feeling like an idiot. How many other people knew? I couldn't take it anymore. That night, I sat Sarah down and said, "We need to talk." I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just pulled up the photos of the emails on my phone and slid it toward her. Her face went pale. Then, like flipping a switch, she started sobbing. Not the guilty kind, the performative kind. "It's not what it looks like. Mark's just a friend. He's going through a divorce and..." I cut her off. "You booked a hotel." More tears. "It was for work. We had clients in town." I stared at her. "You expect me to believe that?" She grabbed my hands. "Baby, I love you. You're my husband. Why would I throw that away?" And for a second, just a second, I almost believed her. Then I remembered the text, "Miss you." The next morning, I woke up to an apology text from Sarah. I messed up. I shouldn't have lied about the hotel. But nothing happened, I swear. Mark and I just talked. I was scared you'd overreact. I laughed out loud. Overreact? To my wife secretly meeting a guy at a hotel? I replied, "Then why did he email you last night was amazing." Radio silence. For hours. When she finally came home, her tone was different, cold. "Fine. We kissed. Once. It was a mistake. Are you happy now?" A kiss? After that email? I wasn't born yesterday. But here's the twist, she didn't beg. She didn't cry. She just gave up. Like she wanted me to leave. That's when I knew there was more. I started digging deeper. If she was this comfortable lying to my face, what else was she hiding? 3 days after our talk, I found an old showbox in the back of her closet. Inside? A burner phone. It was still charged. My hand shook as I turned it on. No password. Just a string of texts, some from Mark, but others from numbers I didn't recognize. One thread stood out. "Unknown number, you're still coming Saturday, right?" "Sarah, yes. But we have to be careful. He's getting suspicious." "Saturday. This Saturday. Tomorrow." I scrolled up, locations, times, even a photo of a restaurant reservation under the name Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Cute. Real cute. I took pictures of everything. Then I put the phone back exactly where I found it. Now I had a choice, play dumb or show up uninvited. I hired a PI. Yeah, like some cheesy movie, but I needed proof I couldn't second guess. Saturday rolled around. Sarah kissed my cheek that morning, all smiles. Girls' day with Jess. Spa, shopping, you know how it is. Jess? Her cousin who lived in another state? Bold move. I nodded like an idiot. Have fun, babe. Then I tailed her. The PI got video of her walking into a downtown bistro, arm in arm with Mark. Laughing. Kissing. Like they'd done it 100 times before. But here's the kicker, they weren't alone. A third person joined them. A woman. Young, blonde, way too touchy with both of them. What the hell was this? Some kind of triangle? Turns out, Mark wasn't just some coworker. He was her ex, from before we even met. And the blonde? His wife. Yeah. Wife. The PI dug deeper. Sarah had been seeing both of them. For months. Weekend getaways. Fancy dinners. All while I paid the mortgage. The worst part? They had a name for it. Some inside joke bullshit, the triad. I sat in my car outside their house that night, watching their shadows move behind the curtains. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I just Planned. I entered the joint account the next morning. Not all of it, just my half. Transferred it to an account she couldn't touch. Then I packed a bag. When Sarah got home, I was sitting at the kitchen table with divorce papers and a printed photo of her, Mark, and Blondie at the bistro. Her face went slack. You followed me." I smiled. "Nope. Hired a pro." For once, she had nothing to say. I slid the papers forward. "Sign them. Or I send the video to HR. All of HR." She signed. "It's been 6 months. The divorce is final." She tried to crawl back once, claimed it was just a phase, that she chose me. Too little, too late. I sold the house. Moved cities. Started therapy. Some days, I still wonder how I missed it. Other days, I'm just glad I didn't miss it forever. So, Reddit, if you're reading this and your gut's screaming at you, listen. Cheaters aren't geniuses. They're just people who think they're smarter than everyone else. And sooner or later, they always slip up. A year later, I got an email from an unknown address. "I need to talk to you. It's about Sarah." It was from Mark's wife. Turns out, their little triad hadn't lasted. Sarah had started pressuring Mark to leave his wife, things got messy, and, shocker, he chose the woman he'd actually married over his mistress. But here's the kicker, Sarah was pregnant. And according to Blondie, who, by the way, hated Sarah now, Mark was refusing to take a paternity test. She attached screenshots of Sarah's desperate texts, "You owe me this, and I can't do this alone." I closed the email. Deleted it. Blocked the address. Some stories don't deserve an ending. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new stories.